Hmm. What's scarier than one?
A bigger one.
Not quite what I was thinking, but what's scarier than one is there's what, Ian?
Definitely two. And because that's when the attack comes, not from the front, but from the side. And from the other two raptors, you didn't even know were there.
Welcome back, listeners, for Alien April Podcasts, where we are reviewing the best, well, easily the best of the Alien franchise, Aliens, directed by James Cameron.
And you know what's the best way to make a sequel? Plural.
Pluralize it.
Pluralize it. It's very sad that there's a lack of creativity when it comes to sequel. Like, they just slap a number.
Usually, I like the numbers. It's simple, and especially when you're arranging your film collection, you can put them in the right order.
I know, but come on, aliens. It's just good.
It's good. So, gentlemen, what did you all think about this?
Where to begin?
Oh boy.
Can I be the first to say it has so much more personality?
Yes, I agree with you.
Like, we're talking the personality that most horror movies have this bad trend of, throwing a bunch of characters at you that you could care less about. That you're just there to watch them die. But in this case, it's the opposite. You're like, please don't die, please don't die. I'm really, very often, that's never the case with a horror movie. There were so many characters I did not want to kick the bucket.
Yeah, I'll agree with. I honestly loved it, and I don't know what credit. And I think everyone kind of deserves credit for that, from the actors, both Sigourney Weaver, Michael Biehn, Bill Paxton.
Oh yeah,
and of course, James Cameron.
Jeanette Goldstein.
Jeanette Goldstein. She played Vasquez.
Yes.
And yeah, it's really great. And I guess we loved it. Ian.
This film is probably one of the few war-style films that I actually enjoy. Because
War style,
military.
Yeah, like Vietnam era, which it emulated rather well. Although the thing about Aliens is how it takes what was originally a horror movie and jerks it to the left with an action-packed, basically action terror is what it is. It's not so much terror, because we know what the alien is, and now there's more of them, and we're seeing the bravado of these soldiers get diminished very, very quickly until they realize that game over, man.
Game over,
man. It's game over.
So why is it that some of the most memorable lines are the ones that are improvised?
I don't know, but no, seriously, I'm not lying. What about personality-wise these characters? It's like, hey, dude, your camera's not working. Smash your head against the wall. It's like, Vasquez, dude, someone mistake you for a man? I don't know. What about you? Oh. It's like, hey, is it Lieutenant Apalm? I don't know.
Commander of
Apalm. When am I gonna get my promotion? Look at my eye. Sergeant Apalm.
Oh no, that was like, oh damn, this floor is cold. Want me to fetch your slippers for you? Oh please do, that would be so great.
Yes, it's like,
look me in the eye.
Look me in the eye. It's like, rise and shine, lady. It's no time for bed and breakfast.
A day on the course like a day on the farm.
Every meal is a banquet.
And so it's like, you get to spend time with these guys and girls, and God almighty.
Yes, women in the military. I'm not saying there is no women in the military. It's just that, again, an 80s movie has already done what is being done now.
Hell, you know what's funny? Vasquez calling Ellen Ripley Snow White. That is entertaining.
And also hilarious when you think about that the actress really just has a very good tan.
Yeah, that is. Though some people today might take offense to that.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, at least it's not really makeup.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But honestly, that just proves good acting ability there.
Mm-hmm. Now, Ian, you did bring up how it steered the Alien franchise, to the left, and by franchise I mean only 2 movies with its action, but still keeping a bit of the horror element that made the first one memorable.
Oh yeah.
Like the emptiness of I don't know that the colony that they were exploring.
The emptiness. I call it the room, like when they're exploring the complex and how empty it is.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention when Ripley goes to find Newt. And
it doesn't even use a whole lot of jump scares.
No.
Many horror movies just love to use to death. I
think that's honestly the death of horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the acting, especially who played the little girl who played Newt. Well, apparently this is her only acting credit. She pretty much hasn't done anything else.
She just has so much sass in her, untapped sass. She's like, this little girl survived 3 months without any weapons.
And just salutes.
And it's like, we'll put her in charge, man.
It was adorable. It wasn't just that. It was adorable.
It was adorably sassy.
And I guess, okay, so really what the whole story is that Aliens picks up, sees that the company actually finding the shuttle that Ripley went into hypersleep in the end of the first movie, and we find out that 57 years have passed since those events. And not only so that means that she also finds out that her daughter has passed away. If you're watching the special edition, married.
Yeah.
And so her friends and family are all gone. She's pretty much just been uprooted from her old life.
She's Rip Van Winkle.
Rip Van Winkle, yeah. And not only that, she's plagued by nightmares due to the events of the first movie.
Yeah, and okay, this is gonna be a joke for me because with each movie, her hair gets shorter.
Yes, it does. The 80s dude. At first it's a very strong shift, but after seeing it for a majority of the movie, it kind of grows on you.
Yeah, like at first I was like, I liked it better in the original, but it grows on you.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say the same for the third.
I'm kind of okay with that. I mean,
but it's because it's kind of a preference.
Yes. Again, we'll get to that when we get to that. And let's see. Apparently, and so it turns out that the planet where they found the eggs,
LV1,
LV-26,
LV-426,
LV-426 has actually has a terraforming colony on that.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't had a complaint on there for 20 years. Oh, and wouldn't you know it, something goes wrong.
Conveniently. That might be my only nitpick. It's convenient how nothing goes wrong until she wakes up.
I think that's kind of why I think that one line in the third movie, I know what I said like 5 seconds ago, is okay, but that's why I think that one line in the third movie is very poignant, is very meaningful.
Yeah.
Either way, Yes, the colonies of about 110 families have all disappeared, and so they send in Marines, one of them being a greenhorn sergeant.
Oh yeah, but that's not his fault, considering Burke is the one behind it.
Burke, yeah, and of course a representative of the company, who, yeah, well, it's a Hollywood movie. Guess what he is?
A slime ball.
He's the bad guy. Of course he is. Hollywood. It's funny how Hollywood itself is actually a corporation, and yet in a lot of their movies, the corporation is evil.
Yeah, but hey, at least in this movie, we get the name of the company.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Weyland-Yutani.
Yeah.
First
time we get to hear it, and. Well, okay, gentlemen, who is your favorite character? I want to ask you, in this movie, who is your favorite character?
Oh god, there's a lot of good ones. There's only like a few that really stand out besides Ripley.
Including Ripley.
Oh, okay, there's Ripley, there's Hicks, Hudson, Vasquez,
Apone,
and Newt. And Bishop.
Let's see. I mean, there's Drake.
Who?
Mr. Headbutting Man.
Oh, that guy. Oh, yeah. Now well, I kind of like him and Vasquez for simply that they have this kind of
chemistry.
They have this chemistry that is just not like, husband and wife or lovers. They're like comrades. Like,
oh yeah.
And when they do that thing, you can just feel the camaraderie from that.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of what I like.
Honestly, it is really tough for me to pick a favorite because they're all so good.
Okay, Ian, while he's thinking, how about your favorite character?
We're not counting the aliens, are we?
No.
Okay. I gotta say Bishop.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good, yeah.
Because he adds something new. Because in the previous film, we saw that the android was being controlled by the company for nefarious purposes. In this one, it does something rather interesting, which takes upon... Oh, here we go. It takes upon a classic science fiction author. Do you know who I'm speaking of?
Arthur C. Clarke?
Yeah.
Isaac Asimov.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Asimov.
And the three laws of robotics.
Yeah, he's not meant to harm a human. Anything that conflicts with the first two laws.
Mm-hmm. And this is... I like this because this shows how someone who has a bad experience with quote-unquote the other will have a bias against said other until possibly shown otherwise. And we see this in Ripley. It's sort of racism? Kind of?
Prejudice.
Yeah, prejudice.
Considering I love the expansion of what was the model.
Oh yeah, and I definitely like how they, and I think I mentioned this in the previous podcast of how you said like how the A2s always were a bit twitchy.
Always a bit twitchy.
And before Ian Holmes or Ash's major malfunction, he was pretty twitchy.
Oh yeah, and okay, I think I got my favorite character.
Okay.
Apone.
Ah, yes.
Okay. I want to lay down why. Without him, there would be no Sergeant Johnson from Halo.
Okay. He kind of reminds me of Keith David, who was the voice of Dr. Facilier, aka the Shadow Man from Princess and the Frog.
Yeah. But it's that even though he's an ass, you can't hold it against him.
He's a lovable asshole, especially when he's rousing the troops from coming out of hypersleep.
Exactly.
I still love. I mean, And also, of course, the banter that he has with Hudson.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not like I'm a superior officer and you drop and give me 20.
No, it's not.
It's more like I'm too early for your shit.
And let's see. What about you, man?
I already said.
What was it?
I think oh wait, did I say my favorite character?
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. Okay. Oh, I thought
because okay, I'm gonna tell you, it was a toss up between him and Vasquez. It was tough.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. Alright, well, I like Hudson.
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton's character. Yeah. Well, Ripley kind of goes without saying. Yeah, oh my god, yeah, it is pretty tough. It is kind of a toss-up between Hudson and Apone.
Yeah. Nothing against Vasquez, but it's just... The comedy does not go to her.
No, it doesn't.
The badassery does.
Oh, yes. Like seeing her hold that
smart gun.
That big giant Gatling gun.
Yeah, no, it's a smart gun. That's actually the term for it. But
really? Can it actually locate my GPS and also find me the nearest Little Caesars?
It'll find you the nearest alien and blast them in the bits.
Okay.
But Ian?
Bishop.
Yeah, he said
okay,
it.
Making sure. But let me just say that I love how half the film, like, again, it builds suspense, it builds terror, it kind of lulls you into a kind of like not sleep, but I'm trying to...
Yeah, a sense of security.
A sense of security. It's that, you're pulling out these weapons that look awesome. The freaking pulse rifle, the shotguns, the smart guns. It pulls out all these weapons, and you're like, wow, can they really handle these aliens? Look like they can handle these aliens. Look like there's not going to be a problem here.
Mm-hmm.
And they're confident. They're all confident that they can handle any threat without any problem. No, they got flamethrowers. They got everything covered. And God almighty, it's sad to see them get taken down a peg.
Mm-hmm.
Because you kind of believe that, yes, they can handle it.
Until you find out that where the nest is. In a nuclear reactor.
Yeah. And because of Lieutenant Dumbass, or Sergeant, is it Lieutenant or Sergeant?
I don't know, who's the one that...
Lieutenant Dumbass, I was right. Lieutenant Dumbass, instead of pulling back and trying to reconfigure your strategy, go ahead with half your firepower.
Mm-hmm.
No, go marching forward instead of guns with knives.
I guess they still thought that even with half their firepower, they could still take him down. Because pretty much among the group that had experience with the xenomorph, and by the way, this is also the movie that gives it that name.
Yes.
The xenomorph was Ripley.
Yeah.
And honestly, she's kind of the odd one out of the group, mostly not because she's a woman. Remember, there are females in the military.
But she's a civilian.
She's a civilian, yes.
But the problem is, they know nothing about these things.
Mm-mm.
They don't think they're smart. They don't think they're intelligent.
Neither were graboids. Look how that turned out.
Yes, but. Yeah, I think it was still a dumb move with Lieutenant Dumbass. Like, you don't go in with, half an ammo. Like, if you went in with a gun, you don't go in with half a clip.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
You go back and rethink.
Mm-hmm.
But
and that kind of little false sense of security kind of reminds me of the beginning. The little dream fake out.
Oh yeah, the dream fake out.
I mean, at first, this is like, oh, it's the beginning of the movie. We can be calm. And all of a sudden, no, actually 57 years have passed. And, oh my god, there's a chest burster inside of me. Oh no, it was all just a dream.
which was a prelude.
A prelude. Oh.
A prelude to the next movie.
So that was actually, honestly, I kind of think that was actually that was a good way to establish the tone.
Oh yeah.
It's James Cameron saying like you are not allowed to relax.
Honestly, okay, here's a surprising fact. This movie's big on so many levels because Sigourney Weaver elected as best actress, was it? In a sci-fi movie, nonetheless.
I know. I think this
for the Oscars.
This was probably the movie that cemented her with the moniker, the Queen of SciFi.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is the first sci-fi movie to actually get any accolades at the Oscars.
Let's see, won 2 Oscars: Best Effects, like sound editing, and Best Visual Effects.
And remember, sci-fi was associated with Star Trek.
She was actually nominated for Best Leading Actress.
So this movie broke so many barriers that yes, sci-fi can be good. Sci-fi is just as good, if not these contemporaries.
But that means like 10 years prior was Star Wars.
Yes.
And that won several awards.
Did it won several awards?
Yes, a lot. Yeah, several awards. Hold on, let me bring up.
I swore it was just nominated, not won.
No,
not Star Wars. They're giving me
visual effects, sound editing.
I don't think it was. I was thinking it was just visuals, nothing about character.
Here we go. Let's see. Special Achievement Award for sound effects for the creation of the alien creature and robot voices. Winner for Best Art Direction. Winner for Best Costume Design.
I see no actors.
Winner for Best Sound. Best Film Editing. Best Visual Effects. Best Original Score. Let's see. Nominee, Best Actor in a Supporting Role, Alec Guinness. Best Director, George Lucas, nomination. Best Writing, Screenplay written directly for the screen. In other words, original screenplay, nowadays. Nominee, George Lucas.
Okay. But
I still have flashbacks, John.
Thanks for giving me the Christmas special flashbacks. But
I'm okay. I'm a little sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not that sorry. You needed to see that if you wanted to go into this field.
But
I needed to see a cross-dressing android malfunctioning. What?
Well, let's see. What was? Okay.
Cross-dressing alien with 4 arms making weird noises and a malfunctioning android trying to explain how to put together something.
Harvey Korman. Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that's what the Xenomorphs did. I didn't think Xenomorphs could cross-dress. Are we sure we're talking about the right movie here?
We're not talking about the Aliens holiday special. We're just talking about the Star Wars holiday
just
special.
Just imagine Aliens holiday special.
Don't give Ridley Scott any ideas.
God help us. It's out there. It's already been said. It's gonna come up. It's about as bad as thinking of a xenomorph attaching itself to a shark and giving birth to a shark xeno.
Oh no. Don't tell the asylum.
And there it is, the final the reboot to the Sharknado franchise.
Oh God, help us all.
Anyway, back on the Aliens.
Back on the Aliens.
I think what I had a thought. I can't remember my train of thought. So, honestly, okay. The Blu-ray that I bought actually comes with 2 versions. The original theatrical version and the special edition, which is by all technicalities is really it's approved by James Cameron. This is his version, so it's really the director's cut. It kind of gives Ripley's emotional journey new context. In the theatrical version, the reason why she is just so attached to Newt is I guess you can is it kind of gives you the inkling that she's trying to get back time with her daughter that she's never gonna see again. It's kind of hinted at that, but mostly it's that this is trying to make up for the crew and friends that she could not save on the Nostromo in the first movie.
Oh yeah. Speaking of the crew,
well, not finished yet. Hold that thought.
Okay.
However, in the special edition, it is confirmed. It is implied. It is all but said that yes, the reason why she is so attached to Newt is because of motherly instinct. She has a second chance to be a mother, and it sort of reminds me of like season 2 of Stranger Things when Hopper takes in Eleven and gets a second chance to be a father.
Hold that train of thought. That special cut with what that shows Amanda, I have suspicions considering Alien Isolation.
What are your suspicions?
Because since Alien Isolation is now canon, Amanda Ripley has encounters with the Xenomorph.
Yes.
And I don't know what the company would do with someone with that kind of knowledge. So, considering that, she died in peace in Nebraska, and by the way, it's kind of weird how often Nebraska is said in this movie. That's just the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, I just had a bad thought.
What?
You said, Bishop said that there would be a nuclear explosion the size of Nebraska.
Yeah.
You don't think the company would be that paranoid to actually bomb that state that she was in?
Oh, God. No, I don't think they would resort to taking out a state. Maybe.
Crew expendable? Marines expendable?
Hopefully. I mean, that's public. That's in view of the public there, dude.
Unless it was really bad. I mean, you've seen Nebraska.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's empty space.
It is all empty. It is mostly empty.
But
the outer rim is civilization. Everything else is just dead space.
Okay, getting back on track. So
again,
this is the fun part.
But Alien Isolation, considering Amanda has her encounter with the Xenomorph, and she's like a grown adult by this point, and after the game, we don't know what happens to her. And since the company knows she has encountered her, I can't assume that she died in peace in Nebraska with her family and friends. Hell, even the photo showed and what Burke shows her, I'm like, is that really her?
According to
because
here's the thing, that photo of elderly Amanda is actually Sigourney Weaver's real life mother. And so when designing the game, they actually used that photo to find a younger version of her to make Ripley's daughter.
That's an interesting tidbit of information.
And it just kind of goes to show that this franchise is really carried by the family in more ways than one.
In more ways than one. Oh, God. But, yeah. So what do you think, Ian? With Amanda?
Well, I have seen, again, Markiplier's playthrough of it. However, I am aware that there is a sequel to the game.
It's on the mobile, isn't it? Blackout?
I believe so, yeah. I believe it is Blackout. I haven't seen or played it.
It really doesn't tell anything much. I played it.
Okay.
What's actually kind of funny is that this franchise's canon is just kind of all out of whack, but Fox, before, when they used to have the rights, they specifically said that yes, Alien and Aliens are canon, and some of the games like Isolation and Colonial Marines,
which we will get to. I will get to that later on, and I will rip that a new one.
Okay. Alright, but, so anyway, as you can, of course, nothing pretty much goes as planned. They're in over their heads, they bite off more than they can chew. Half of the Marines are killed off.
Killed or captured to be bred.
And so now it's all just it's just like the first movie, a fight for survival.
Oh yeah.
Only this time now they had to deal with more than one alien, and also what another thing that makes this movie so great is how it expands the lore of these creatures, and by introducing that they have a queen.
Oh yeah.
A queen alien, and also it was when I was watching this movie I had a very weird thought. What does a true xenomorph looks like? What's its real form?
I don't want to know. I'll leave that a mystery, please.
I mean, since this creature can only come into existence by taking on characteristics of its host, what is its real form? It's pure unaltered form. Is it really just a face hugger?
Probably.
It might just be the DNA. The DNA is its true form. I would say.
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah.
But again, if there is a true form, I do not need to know it. I do not need to see it. Please leave that be. Leave that to our imaginations. Our imaginations will scare us to death.
I know.
You already took away the origins of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to know. I can scare myself. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, what you don't see and imagine is scarier than what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the first film did so well.
Oh yeah, yeah. You never really did see the full alien. It was always just extreme close-ups or out of focus a wide shot.
Oh yeah.
Wide of focus out over the shoulder shots.
Mm-hmm.
But in this movie, we actually do get to see much of the aliens. I mean, their design is a lot different. Like their heads actually kind of got like ridges and spines, almost something kind of like Klingon T-Rexes or something.
Well, I will argue that while we do get to see a lot of them, we really don't get a good look at them. It's not like Alien 3 where it's like pandering it to them. Like, you actually get to see him coming and it'll cut away.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't linger on to him. It kind of just shows you, like, there they are.
Mm-hmm.
Boo, boo, boo. And then we'll cut back to the frantic cries of the dead.
Did you guys actually know that on screen and in production, there were only 6, I believe it's 6, suits being used at one time?
I'll have to see if IMDb mentioned that.
No, I did not know that set, but I did know how troubled the production was.
Well, every movie's production is troubled.
Well, okay, not to the point where the composer James Horner didn't even get the visual for it. That he had to compose it blind.
Hmm.
And the fact that it was nearly Cant.
Oh my.
Oh man, yeah, it was.
And the wife had to bring it back for the break.
Let's see. When Fox execs saw an early cut of the film, they complained to producer Gale Ann Hurd that it looked like the money had all been spent on sets rather than special effects. Hurd took great delight in telling the execs that a majority of the sets that they were seeing in the film were indeed miniatures or optical effects, special effects. The artists behind these images were very pleased that their work had fooled the money men.
That is awesome.
That is very awesome. Let's see. Sigourney Weaver's Best Actress Academy Award nomination for this movie was the first ever for an actress in a role in an action movie.
Ah! There's the first one.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. And yet, Ripley's daughter is of Elizabeth Inglis, Sigourney Weaver's real-life mother. The full-size queen puppet. Oh, now this is an impressive piece of practical effects.
Oh, it is.
Let's see. Act too big to fit into the elevator. Which, by the way, I can't help but laugh at that.
That's kind of awesome.
It's awesome. It's hilarious that because I'm picturing in my head that while Ripley and Newt are running away, panting, dirty, and covered in grime and sweat, the alien queen is just standing there by the elevator, hitting the button like, click, 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 click.
Oh, finally.
But yeah, did you guys know originally James Horner, after this movie, did not want to work with James Cameron?
Really? And
he changed his mind eventually, but...
Which one was it? Was it due to Titanic?
No. This is... No. Aliens. His composing blind is not something a composer usually does.
I'm talking about what was the movie that made him agree to work with...
Titanic.
That...
Yeah, sorry. I didn't hear you.
Okay.
But yeah, he agreed to work with him back on Titanic, which was 10 years later.
Yeah, pretty much. 10 years later.
10 years can do a lot.
Yeah, 10 years production. Yeah, 10 years production-wise.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to the Alien Queen, Ian, what did you think of her introduction? Because I love that one.
I love the Queen's introduction.
Dude, that just gave me chills.
Oh, man.
It went back to what made the film so good. It's slow.
Also, it's like they had a silent agreement of sorts, staring down at each other. They were staring at each other. It's like, you leave my eggs alone, I'll let you go.
I think it was that, you know, the Queen saw the flamethrower and saw that, and you know, Ripley was pretty much just you know, was just saying through action, actually, not talking.
Yeah, of course.
You know, just what that flamethrower will do. Queen roars at them to say to stay back, let them go, and there was a silent agreement. If we don't bother us, we won't bother you. And then of course there's that one asshole,
which was a hatchling,
the face hugger.
Of course,
the face hugger just had to open its big fat flap.
Of course. But okay, it'd be disrespectful for me to say I love the showdown. I love the foreshadowing. I love the foreshadowing of what was going to happen. It wasn't out of the blue how she could operate that suit. Mm-mm. Like that is perfect. The way they set it up is like, I want to be useful on her. What can you do? What can you do? Mm-hmm. And so I can operate the suit.
Nice. Show us.
And she does. And then,
as opposed to, say, in Jurassic World, where the boys say that fix a Jeep that's been out of commission for 20 years, and how do they know how to do that? Remember when we fixed Grandpa's old car? No, there was no picture of that.
Oh yeah. So to see her coming, no, I'm pretty sure I wish I could have been there to see everyone's faces in the theaters. I wish I was alive. And I'm pretty willing to bet that everyone were screaming with joy and you're like, yeah, when she said, get away from her, you bitch! I'm pretty sure everyone was roaring with applause.
I'll bet. Oh, yeah.
I wish I could have seen it. I wonder if that did happen. Pretty sure it did.
Yeah. So, can I ruin this? The adrenaline rush by saying that the ending is actually kind of like the weirdest cat fight in cinema history.
You're not wrong. A cat fight of different species?
Does that work?
I still think that's technically how a cat fight works.
Well, hey, you two were laughing, so I consider that mission accomplished.
Okay.
I'll concede that. Well done.
I'll concede. But you know.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome because the Queen is defeated the same way the original Alien was. Blasted out into space.
But, okay, sci-fi nitpick time, because...
Oh boy.
Okay, first off, I don't think your arms are made of steel there, Ellen Ripley. I don't think you could have held on to that as the air was decompressing. Pretty sure your arms would have ripped. I don't know, Ian? You're more of a sci-fi guy, science fiction, science stuff.
He's a scientist.
Could you... If the air was sucking out, would she be able to breathe?
cosmology is not my field, but potentially there's still air rushing by, even though it's very thin and rapidly decompressing to the vacuum of space.
Okay.
So, potentially not very well. She would probably lose consciousness at that level. Arm slips and or rips due to the force of the vacuum. And down she goes, out everybody goes, and that's the end of the series.
Yeah.
But hey, at least the Queen is dead.
Ding dong, the Queen is dead.
I think that probably might have been. I guess that'd probably be a good way to end the franchise, so that 3 didn't have to happen.
Yeah. But hey, I can suspend.
But then again, but if it did, maybe they probably would have skipped 3 and go straight to the concept of 4.
But
No,
okay.
clone Ripley.
But hey. I can suspend my suspension of disbelief. I can okay, yeah, I'm plausible, but movie magic, whatever.
Movie magic.
I'll just hand wave it away.
Yeah.
But and considering seeing Bishop getting ripped apart,
Queen takes Bishop.
no chess motifs.
Oh yeah.
That is a horrible way.
Jeez, I almost thought a face hugger got him.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like he has a chest burster in him, and then.
But.
Yeah. Bishop, I think what's also brilliant is that this actually gives you the surprise villain at the right time, not like how Disney is doing it nowadays.
Yeah.
Is that you think that Bishop is going to be the bad guy because he's an android. Ripley had a bad experience. He's still owned by the company.
Mm-hmm.
And he's fascinated by these creatures, the dead face huggers. And
Well,
so
I would be fascinated too. What does that mean?
I don't know. Is that me? Oh shit! I dug myself into a hole.
That means I will not let you near one for fear of my safety and the safety of the entire planet species.
Okay. So, but no, it turns out that Burke, I'm a really nice guy, but at a drop of the hat, I'll be a sniveling little weasel. It's that let loose face huggers who try to impregnate Newt and Ripley.
And to get him past quarantine.
Yeah, I gotta say that the actor, let's see, Burke Paul Reiser, he's actually a stand-up comedian. So
it's actually telling about that too, because
comedians they know how to play a crowd.
Yeah. So it was kind of weird because it felt like he did. I don't know how to say it. Because it's not that he's not acting. It's just it feels like it's almost too natural for him to act like that. It's like, yeah, I know how to do this. It's like you can tell when an actor's trying to act, but to be able to act where you can look at him and is like, is that really how they act? That's good. And I think they did perfect with Burke, with the fact that, my God, I don't think I could see anyone who could pull off a sleazeball better.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk favorite parts. Ian, since a lot of during this podcast, Tyler and I pretty much take up a majority of the conversation. We'll start with you.
Well, the whole movie is fun. I mean, yes, there's a few small problems, but they are severely overshadowed by how fun this movie is.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do have to say certain parts stick out to me. One, I really enjoyed the ambush.
The first one?
Mm-hmm, the first ambush. I really enjoyed that. I also enjoyed the attack in the compound because we get to see the aliens doing things that we never saw them do before. We saw them jumping. We saw them climbing through pipe and across the ceiling upside down. We saw so many things that we hadn't seen in the first movie, yet it seemed completely natural.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tyler?
Honestly, my favorite part, like, I love the first ambush, but it's overshadowed to me by when they're after the facehugger attempt that they see the motion trackers are coming, they barricade the door, and they see that they're still coming, and they go behind the last barrier, weld it shut, and they're somehow getting past the room. They somehow got past the room, and they're like, "What did we miss?" And Ripley looks up to the ceiling and is like, "Oh God!" And Hicks climbs up, I think he has a shotgun or his gun.
He has he has a weapon.
He has a weapon. Pushes the ceiling up. Flashlights. Looks into the darkness and sees all these creatures crawling towards him.
Upside down.
Upside down, and that is so creepy. And
no sharp violins.
No sharp violin sounds. That just oof. Now, here's an interesting thought, because in the special cut, there's a cut of I don't know about you, Ian. Did you know about the turret section?
I am aware of the turret section. Let me check that. I have the case over here. But yes, I'm aware of the special edition, 17 minutes of restored footage.
So to give you some context, the turret section was a little bit before the facehugger scene. They set up turrets at all the entry points, and the turrets were doing a job, but they were running out of ammo. And on the last bullet, it was enough that pushed the drone back away. And Hicks like, well, next time they can just knock on our door now. And
but they don't know that.
But they don't know that. And someone said, well, they'll find another way. I'm sad yet glad they cut it out, because had they kept that in, they would have just given us a clue what they're going to do next. Mm-hmm. Instead of taking us from complete surprise by that ceiling thing. If they left that turret section in, we wouldn't have that pleasant surprise with the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree, yeah. I mean, I did enjoy the turret scene. I really enjoyed that, but I agree with your points, yeah.
Now, my favorite scene, actually, most of them have already been discussed. There's the build-up to the Alien Queen. There's the first ambush. The crawling on the ceiling routine. But I guess, if I had to actually pinpoint, actually a scene that I really loved that actually kind of like scared me and is just an overall visually tells you that shit just hit the fan, is in the ambush scene where they find only one living survivor, and she begs them to kill her, and then you hear that gut wrenching sound, or chest wrenching sound of her chest being just split open, and Ripley's reaction to that, because she's reliving the horror of where it first happened, and then the alien with its tiny little arms. Apparently, this was an idea that was meant for the first movie, but they couldn't do it because it was too complicated, of giving the little chest burster tiny little arms so it would crawl out. So in the second film, they were able to finally pull that off, and it kind of does make it. And just seeing it crawl out of this little medium shot of this chest burster just crawling its way out of the corpse it just came from is just really creepy.
Did you notice that it's actually a bit bigger than the original facehugger too?
Say what?
It's a bit bigger.
It's a bit bigger?
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit bigger. Like, fatter.
Ah.
No. I have the luxury of going through forums, and we all love this movie. Did you now, Ian? There are some that says they hate this movie because they said it ended the franchise in a way. And by ending the franchise, there's no way it could beat this. It could not go back to horror. Because everyone's expectation of Alien is Aliens.
Yeah.
I can see where they would be coming from.
And same here.
I honestly think it's not. I don't think it's the end of the franchise. It's just set a very high bar that no one is able to top.
That's what I think too.
It's not.
It's good. Maybe too good. Because when you think about it, even the logo for Aliens is pretty much what is the logo of the franchise. With this light flare coming from the eye, like there's something coming from a different world. It's like an entrance to a portal.
Oh yeah, an eye.
To
yes. Another world. But yeah, so I see where they're coming from, but honestly, it just means we have two good movies.
Mm-hmm.
If discounted 3 and 4. And you get your. I think that's what makes a franchise special. You take your pick. You want horror? Go to number 1. You want action? Go to number 2.
Mm-hmm.
You win. You get 2 different genres.
I don't know, because I can see where people are coming from. Don't get me wrong, but I think part of that presently. I mean, Alien, it's always going to be a scary movie franchise. That's what it is. Or at least that's what it should be.
It should be.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do think that with Ridley Scott basically taking over the franchise and monopolizing it, he's shutting out good ideas. And I don't think we can review Aliens without talking about Alien 5.
Oh God, yes.
Have you heard about what's
Care
his
to
name?
fill me in, guys?
Oh, I told you about this, Tyler.
The dude who's working on a RoboCop movie right now. What's his face?
Neil Blomkamp?
That's him.
Yeah, the guy who made District 9 and Elysium, essentially kind of combining like future with gritty down to earth look and styled filmmaking, was actually greenlighted to make a 5th Alien movie that actually would be a true sequel to Alien, so it would retcon 3 and 4. And it was, I remember, I think maybe in 2017, or at least in 2016, it was greenlighted, but then got shelved so much, and that's how we got Alien Covenant. And there are concept art. The idea was that an older Ripley and an older Hicks, yes, would return. So, and in the special edition, it's kind of hinted at there was some romantic feelings between them.
Honestly, I think they're fools not to try to go ahead, take a risk.
Follow the money. That was the mentality. And so now that, because it's and this is also what I told you, Tyler, is that because it got shelved, there's a possibility that concepts and ideas for this 5th Alien movie might make it into future movie that whatever Mr. Blomkamp is gonna make, because that's usually how it works. If ideas don't get used, then they pop up somewhere in future movies.
Yep.
Like
Spider-Man.
Like Spider-Man. even Ant-Man. Edgar Wright was originally the director and story writer for Ant-Man, but left due to creative differences as par for the course in that industry. And so a lot of the ideas that he came up with made it into Baby Driver, so I've heard.
And I just pulled up Neil Blocamp's Google search. I put his name in with Alien. Some of the articles he posted, some concept art in 2017, and something from this year, February 21st. It's the title of this article from Screen Rant. Neil Blocamp's Alien 5 would have used practical creature effects.
Just like the originals.
I wish I had a device that would take me to an alternate dimension, a parallel world where this was greenlit, and see how it might have turned out.
Mm-hmm. I would just like to go to have a time machine so I could actually go into the board meeting where the decision to can it's made, slap the people and say, "Go with it." That's what I really want to do.
Says it's come and gone. Dead Central says, "Here's why we'll probably never see Blocamp's Alien 5."
Was it gonna be? Is this just Alien 5 or Aliens?
I think it was supposed to be called. I thought it was supposed to be called Alien Xeno.
That might have been what it's called. All of this stuff says Alien 5. So that could be what it's called, but I can't say.
Because Alien 5 sounds like it would be a working title.
Yeah, I think this is just a working title.
Because I think I see a problem with the Alien franchise. Because once you go plural, once you go aliens, you can't just go back to alien. You can't go back to one. That's kind of a decrease.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after you watch movie 1, you saw what 1 can do, and then you're like, oh god. And then you hear aliens, like, oh god, plural. What can this many do? And after you watch it, oh god, that's terrifying. And then you go back to 1. You're like, we already know what 1 can do.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple queens.
What's next? Alien Battlefield.
And the cat fight just got weirder.
Yeah, it's like, well, okay, what's next? What can you do to make this more terrifying? Alien Battlefield.
No. Let's see. No, then to make it weirder, the real sequel, the second sequel to Alien would have featured a cameo appearance by Predator. Surprise! Sequel to Predator.
A backdoor pilot there.
A backdoor pilot. Yes, a lead-in to Alien vs. Predator.
Oh my god.
Which I gotta say, after seeing a review of that one, I honestly like Predators more than Aliens. But we'll get to that some other time.
Okay, hold on. As a franchise or as the movie Aliens?
What?
You said you like Predators more than Aliens?
No, characters.
Okay. I didn't hear you correctly.
Okay. I did not understand your question because what you asked was just the same thing.
But
okay,
honestly,
we did favorite part. We touched on Alien 5 working title that's apparently canceled, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
We did characters. We talked about the Queen.
This movie came out in 1986, which was actually 2 years after James Cameron's Terminator, I think that might have been how he got the job.
Yep.
And also he still brings in he brings back Kyle Reese, as well as Bill Paxton, and usually, directors they'll
have their core actors.
They have their core actors, like with Tim Burton, Wes Anderson, Martin Scorsese, and for James Cameron, it seems
it alternates between Arnold and Sigourney.
Arnold and Sigourney, but if Michael, I don't know how you pronounce his last name. I'd say it's Bean. I'd say Bean because it's Biehn, so it might be Bien.
Just call him Michael Bean.
Michael B.
Oh, Michael
Okay,
Bine.
fine. Okay. Well, Michael B. And Bill Paxton. He likes it. Michael B. and Bill Paxton will almost for sure make it into it. He didn't come back for Avatar because James Cameron reasoned that it might just feel like an Aliens reunion.
Aw, but maybe that's what's needed.
Yeah.
No. I do have to ask.
I wasn't done, but it took me a while to. I know it took me a while to actually pick out Michael B. in the crowd because I'm just so used to Kyle Reese.
Yeah.
Yes, but once you see him, it's like, yep, that's him. That's Kyle.
Now, Ian, I gotta ask you a question. Have you played the Colonial Marines game that's supposed to tie in with this movie?
I haven't. I'm aware of it. I'm aware of some of the things, but I have not played many video games. I played How to Train Your Dragon game for the Wii, and I played Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, one of the greatest games of all time.
I will agree with you on that. I own it. But regardless, here's the thing. Fox says that is canon, and a lot of...
So I've heard.
Okay, first off, if we all know the Alien lore... Okay, so in the game, there is a surprise character from the movie that survives. Surprise! And we're like... And at first, everyone was wondering who it was. Private Hicks. Or, Corporal Hicks, sorry. And everyone's like, what? Because here's where it gets weird. So, remember how that movie ends? They're all in Sulaco, hypersleep?
Yep, they're put into hypersleep.
Put into hypersleep. Apparently, a Weyland-Yutani ship, found it, went into it, took him and switched him out with some other character to die in his place, and he just couldn't recognize what he looked like upon death, apparently. Burnt alive, I guess, in the third movie. So, yeah.
I think Deadpool said it best. Well, that's just lazy writing.
Yeah. So, I see the look on your face. You look horrified. You look stupefied. You look like, what am I hearing? And yeah, that's a lot of people, and myself included, felt.
Okay. As a writer myself, and I'm good friends with someone who's a creative writing major. What the hell are you thinking?
I know, right?
I guess probably maybe one of the. I'll bet that must have been one of the WB execs that was in charge of the game. Before they became WB exec. It's for the fans.
Well, they said his fans were upset for his death at Alien 3. So bring him back.
What about Newt? What about Hudson?
Yeah. Well, Apone. It showed that he was alive. It doesn't confirm he was impregnated. There's so many characters you could have used for your surprise twist. So yeah, that was a thing.
I will have to investigate this further.
Okay, if you thought the Christmas special for Star Wars was bad, Colonial Marines is on par.
I find that hard to believe. Yet I'm intrigued to investigate for myself.
If the game that came out in 2015 looks like a piece of garbage that was
it was 2013.
See, it was 2013 or was it 14?
I don't know.
But regardless, it's in 2013 15, and it looks like a piece of garbage thrown into the dumpster fire before being put out by a fire hydrant, and it looks like some Picasso's work if he was drunk and drugged to death.
let's see.
2013.
Alien Colonial Marines.
It was published by Sega for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360 in 2013.
And to give me a comparison, if you were to watch the in-game Xenomorphs, they look like crap compared to other games such as Mass Effect.
I'll bet that's not like a that's not a simile. I'll bet that's literally. They probably look like actual crap.
Yeah, they did. But enough about the game and the rant. But honestly,
I think what we're talking about is actually a good testament of the movie itself. Is that this is pretty damn good that we'd probably talk about something else.
Yeah, there's really nothing to nitpick about. Hell, let me start this up. I give this thing a freaking 9.5 out of 10 stars. I give it like triple thumbs up, quadruple thumbs up. I give it like my arm.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. But I almost feel like there's still some more to talk about. I mean, I'm looking at the clock. We've only been doing this for an hour.
What else is there to talk about? We talked about the characters. Newt was adorable and sassy.
How about Bishop's? How about the revelation that Bishop is an android, like the knife game?
Well, that was funny.
Oh, that was fun. Apparently using Hudson was actually kind of unscripted. It was actually tossed around by the entire cast and crew, except Bill. So that reaction is genuine.
Although I have a question for you, John. Did that footage there look sped up to you, or was that how it was shot?
I believe it was sped up in post-production.
Okay.
It was going at normal speed, probably. No, that's still kind of terrifying having your fingers like.
I think he was going at normal speed, or probably like slow, as slow as possible. And I don't know. I might have to see that scene again, especially when they go to the wide shot, because it's definitely easy to fake that speed effect. When you have tight shots like of hand, Bishop's face, and Hudson's reaction. It's easy to fake that. But the wide shot, when you're seeing both the knife, Bishop, and Hudson in the same shot, I might need to take a second look at that.
But special effects are good, though.
Special effects are good.
Are a lot better than the first one.
And I don't even care if it's kind of obvious that those are models in front of a blue screen. To me, that's classic film to me.
It is, yeah.
And honestly, and of course it is obvious those are models. Though you can definitely feel the little lightweight, especially from the tank when it's moving. Of course, when that starts of course, I'm really sorry. When that goes barreling through, like crashing through the walls, I just hear the Danny Elfman Batman theme playing.
Oh, by the way, Ian, I was so happy that the Marines learned what not to do when running away from somebody that's coming toward you, aka not go into the Prometheus school of running. Just run in a straight line away from your ship. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. Go sideways.
Mm-hmm.
No, easier.
Yeah. I have several gripes with that movie as well.
Yeah. Oh boy, I can only remember like one scene, and I can't remember the last time a movie actually made me physically ill. Not because it was bad, but because something actually grossed me out.
I know what you're talking about, and that's one of the issues I have about it. But that's a discussion for another day, possibly never.
I am all for option B.
But yeah, honestly, I don't have really any criticism for this.
Not really.
Neither do I.
Maybe that's the James Cameron magic. He covers all his bases. Nothing comes out of left field. He makes it sure that we all know about what could happen prior to when it does happen. So, example, the mech suit, the locator on the Newt's wrist when Hicks gives Ripley the locator. Yeah. So nothing feels contrived. It feels natural.
Yeah. I guess I actually do have one nitpick. It's not about the film itself. It's how the transfer to Blu-ray. That's the nitpick that I have. Now, apparently during James Cameron, he's definitely someone who has a very big vision. Has a very big vision when it comes to it. But in the Blu-ray transfer, I don't know why there seems to be this trend that movies need to be remastered, recolorized to kind of fit the modern trend of color grading, with the orange teal push. And in Aliens, there is a lot of that. There's especially when they're investigating the empty colony, is that all the lights look it looks very teal, like bluish green. And I found out later that's not the original look that the movie had. That's something that came later out during the high definition transfer. So I'm actually on a mission to I'm getting the original 2003 box set of the Alien Quadrilogy because it has the original color palette. Now, I'm not saying that this is crap because it's not the original color. I mean, as someone who really loves film, who wants to preserve every kind of copy, every single version of it, I would like to have the original one for comparisons.
That could be a future video at some point. Maybe.
But that's kind of my only nitpick, that while I was watching the original theatrical cut and James Cameron's vision, which I'll probably ask later. I'll ask both of you later on.
All right.
And I lost my train of thought because I decided to take a detour. I mean, okay, while I'm happy to have seen that, I still would have liked to have seen the original, like the original color negatives, that kind of thing. And so now that I also brought it out there, gentlemen, what is your favorite version of Aliens?
I've only seen one.
You've only seen the one?
Same here, I can't say. I mean, I've seen... this is the special edition. So
it looks like the special edition. That looked like a DVD one. Is that the DVD quadrilogy?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the DVD. I didn't know the special edition was on that.
Apparently it is.
Well, the special edition has a few extra scenes, such as Ripley getting dude, you're dragging the speaker.
Sorry.
Jesus. Ripley getting a photo of her daughter. We get an earlier introduction of Newt, of actually seeing her with her family, and also the scene actually ends with a shot of her father with a face hugger on him, and I will take that away. I will take the fidget spinner away. And another scene which I kind of like is during the combat drop. Is that Hudson, he's boasting of like how he is state of the art badassery, and that kind of thing. And he sees Ripley's character is like still like very nervous and saying like, We, the ultimate badasses, will protect you. And then he starts like listing all the weapons that are in that tank. I like that because it kind of shows like, well, yeah, you're just pretty much telling Ripley what they have in their arsenal so that she can use later.
Now, I actually just remember one nitpick I had. Just one. Now, I don't know about you, but Ian, do you think cockpit doors open automatically, or do you have to be open manually?
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Cockpit door.
I'm talking about the drop ship that crashed.
The ship that...
They can be remote opening, or they could be open from the inside. I don't think they would ever open automatically. I don't know anything about space travel. But they would generally be an airlock. There would also generally be another form of locking mechanism.
No, I'm not saying that the alien is not intelligent, but the ability to open doors like a velociraptor here.
Hey, if Spielberg can get away with it in Jurassic Park, why can't James Cameron?
I know. I told you it's a tiny nitpick, but the fact that she's driving the ship, all of a sudden the door behind her just opens up.
And these are aliens in the future too.
But they're also compared as to animals, brilliant animals, smart animals, but animals.
They were still able to cut the power.
Yeah.
They may be animals, but they might be. But hey, so is a dolphin. A dolphin's an animal.
Humans are animals. Get over it.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's more or less that fact that I find it implausible at that junction.
Yeah. I remember my other favorite shot from the movie. When the alien that comes up behind Newt when she is in that sewer. Oh my god, it's so scary, and how that she doesn't know the danger that she's in.
But yeah, I like that because it's I think it's in slow motion a little bit, but what I like is how we don't expect it.
I hate to say, I was kind of expecting it a little bit because I saw a little group of air bubbles before it popped out.
Okay. But I mean, most modern horror movies now would show something underwater moving towards her, correct?
True, or it would just be a jump scare.
True, but this is.
Well, this is technically, it's not even a jump scare, but it is a scare without the noise.
Yeah, it is a jump scare, but it's not like "Wah!" in your face jump scare.
It's a oh no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the music for that went something like "Whoa," and it came up.
It's equivalent to the bomb scene that Alfred Hitchcock talks about in creating suspense.
Oh yeah. Look at us. We're praising this thing to high heaven. We can't even criticize it.
I know. I can't.
Oh, it'll be different for next week. I'm sure of it.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be definitely different. Because I made a list. I have a list that is over 100 tall about what I have my gripes with that movie.
I definitely felt like next week is probably going to be the longer discussed of this franchise. But
I don't know. Which is going to be the longer discussed, 3 or 4?
3.
Well, and I think we're just trying to pad this thing out, but okay. Aliens is a really great movie. It's
maybe too good for its own good.
Too good for its own. Yeah, too good for its own good. It cemented Ripley as a strong female character, mostly because she's facing her fears.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, and some good dialogue, decent acting. You can really feel like the sense of camaraderie from the Marines.
Oh yeah,
and the sense of helplessness.
Notice that it didn't even feel like the movie was that long when you watch it. It felt like time just flew.
Oh yeah, it's decently paced. So yeah, back to our ratings: 9.5 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10. Triple,
third dimension.
quadruple, many arms thumbs up.
Many thumbs up.
Many thumbs up.
Yes. And yeah. So I guess with that said, we will see you all next week for Alien to the Third Power.
Oh god, you had to make the cube joke.
It was gonna come up eventually.
Yes, it was. See you next time on Alien Cubed.
See you guys.
See ya.